All right, welcome to our Tiger Minor League Report series as we continue to go and talk to players across the Tigers minor league system. Today, we're joined by Seth Stephenson, the Tigers' seventh round draft pick in 2022, off to a really good year with 68 steals. And he's been really, since coming up the high, been a very effective hitter off the leadoff spot and just playing solid defense. And so we always ask this question: What's your earliest baseball memory?
I say my earliest baseball memory was starting off in T-ball. My dad was my coach, and from there we went. We had like an all-star team, and we actually went to state as an all-star team at 4 years old, and we kept that team all the way until we were like 14 years old. So I played with the same group of guys from T-ball, like that same all-star team, and from T-ball until we were like 14. And I'd say that was my first memories going to state with those guys.
Are you still friends with some of those guys too?
Yeah, I am. I am. I'm still friends with them. I'm the only one still playing, but I had some guys just stop recently, like last year in college and everything. So there was quite a few players that got to go from there and play college ball.
That's awesome. And so you grew up in a town. It's the I'm trying just outside. It's in Texas, and hold on.
Yeah, I grew up in Buda, Texas, right outside. It's like kind of South Austin area. And then I moved a few times since then. So just right around that area, though. Buda, Kyle, and San Marcos. Just right outside of the Austin area.
So from high school, you started at Temple College, which has a very really good reputation of players under Craig McMurtry. And talk about starting out there. What aspects of your game that grew from there from high school? Because they've done a great job of getting players ready. Like I just said, 36 players have come from that
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. No, Coach McMurtry is a great guy, and he doesn't. So, Frank Kellner, which is the assistant coach, he actually left, and he's the head coach at St. Mary's now. But he was the infield coach when I was there, and I went in as a shortstop. And I don't think he ever got to the bigs, but he played quite a few years in the Astros organization. And from the moment I stepped on campus with them, they were just really influential in my life for a lot of reasons, and they really kept me busy. So I think that every aspect of my game grew with them. Um, like I was there every single day, early work, late work, whatever it was, early ground balls, early hitting. So I think going to Temple is where I really developed into kind of like becoming somebody on the baseball field. And because there's not really any rules in junior college, like you can stay out there all day. And I remember practice would be from like 1 to like 5 or something, and we'd have early hitting like 11:45. So we'd be out there an hour 15, hour and a half early, getting work in, getting defense in, and like I think that was the biggest influence on like me, like I said, becoming somebody on the baseball field.
Yeah, especially you go to University of Tennessee. It's a place in a conference, the SEC, which is the toughest conference, at
Mm-hmm.
least in my opinion, in college baseball. And talk about that adjustment to going to. I mean, Friday night games are such a big different. It's like night and
Yeah,
day, comparatively speaking.
yeah, no, for sure. It was a big adjustment, especially right when I got on campus. But I'd say that junior college really did get me prepared for it because we'd face teams like McLennan and Weatherford and Grayson, and you got San Jack and Blinn. So all these teams that we're playing, we'd play everybody 4 times. So their number one and number two starter were usually big time commits, and then it would kind of fall off. That was the main difference. But yeah, it was a big difference once I got to Tennessee, especially just I didn't know how good we were going to be, to be honest. When I got there, or when I was committed there, and they ended up going to the College World Series in 21, it was like, oh crap, okay, like I gotta step up. Like these guys are good, and when I got there, it was completely different. But I mean, I absolutely loved it, and that fall at Tennessee was just being around those guys and being around all these players that had been there for 3 years. They had kind of, they kind of took me in and took me under their wing and showed me the way around because they definitely do stuff different and they run that program like when I first got drafted to the Tigers, it was we were doing the same stuff out there on the backfields that we were doing at Tennessee. And me coming from a junior college, I just, we definitely got our work in, but it was a big step up going to Tennessee. So it was something that like I had to figure out pretty quick.
Especially, I mean, that outfield of you, Drew Gilbert, and Jordan Beck. I mean, that's just one of the to me one of the best outfields we've seen in quite some time in Tennessee. But not only in Tennessee, but in the SEC. Just
Yeah,
that really helped your College World Series run.
for sure. And the thing is like I said, I was a shortstop at Temple, so I went into Tennessee. I was supposed to be an infielder for them, shortstop, second baseman, and I got there, and I don't think I was gonna play in the infield. They had some other guys that were just beating me out with the glove, and but I was like always gonna get a chance in the lineup. So like it was like literally a week or two before season, they just threw me out in left field, and being alongside Drew Gilbert and Jordan Beck, two first round outfielders, like I learned so quick. Just like watching them play and how they do stuff and how they take their reps was like that was huge for me, especially just going into the outfield like the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and that translates to how was your draft night experience when you got drafted by the Tigers? Was it something where you're just chilling at home with your friends and family, or
Yeah, it
was it?
was it was just me, my mom, my brother, my girlfriend was in town, and the first night of the draft, we went out and watched a lot of my team or some of my teammates get drafted, some other guys that I know, and then I had there was some my agent was telling me that I was supposed to go on day two, and we didn't know when, and because the previous year out of Temple, I actually got a call in the sixth round from the Tigers, um, pretty much like everything with like sixth round, seventh round, real close to each other, and pretty much everything was the same. And I said no and went to Tennessee because I wanted to try to be a higher pick. So I was really debating on if I should go back for my senior year or not, because I thought the development that I made in that 1 year, just going to the outfield and like fighting for a spot, I knew that if I was to go back, that I'd be like our everyday center fielder. I'd be like our leadoff man from the jump. So I was really debating on going back, and I had told myself that if I didn't go at the same spot that I was going to go out of junior college, I was going to go back and get one more try. And I got a call in the seventh round from my agent, or he called me right before the seventh round. He was like, "Hey, the Tigers are going to take you again, seventh round." I was like, "Let's go, I'm going." So it was like I was real unsure about it, and then as soon as I got the call from my agent, I was like 100% in, and then yeah, saw myself get drafted.
Yeah, and it's paid off pretty well in terms of just steal. There's more to your game than just steals. I think one of the
100%.
yeah, and that's one of the things I noticed right away. What was the biggest thing that you worked on when you got to Lakeland that allowed
Yeah,
you to kind of step up?
I think since I've been here, it's just we've been really hammering the swing, like just the hitting aspect of I have had a problem of when I got drafted. My swing was real steep, and like um, I would get out of my legs at times and stuff like that. And like I still have some issues that need to be addressed with the swing, but like the amount of progress I've made throughout the year, just working with all of the hitting coaches here, and like I came to a hitting camp back in I think around November. Maybe I'm off on that date a little bit, but from literally the moment I stepped on or Tiger Town to like the camp to instructs to getting back for spring training, we've just been on the swing like religiously. And also not only the swing though, like I feel like I've developed so much in the outfield here too, because we got Arnie. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's the outfield coordinator out here, and there's no reps taken off with him. You're gonna get behind every ball. You're gonna like I've learned more in the outfield than I've ever learned in my life at any position. So I think the swing, definitely the swing, working on the bat, but outfield too. And then now like I've been working on my base running and just getting better, because when I came in I was also only getting like 11 and a half foot leads. So like we're trying to get out to like 13, 14 feet, make it easier to steal bags. Just really every part of the game has just developed since I've got out here. So I'm so glad that I made the decision to get going with pro ball, quicker, because I've just learned a lot more than I would have in college.
And especially because, I mean, what I like about RD's approach too, especially because you look at West Michigan's center field, which is one of the
Mhm.
biggest ones across Midwest League, and it kind of prepares you for Comerica Park down the line.
Sure.
In terms of even just how how much when you went from Lakeland to West Michigan and you looked at that outfield, was that did it intimidate you at all or anything, or just was
Well,
already like, look, listen, I got a plan for you.
so I mean, I haven't even got to play at West Michigan's park yet, but I did take a look out there when I first got there, and it's a big park. But I mean, Lakeland's kind of a big park too because it's the same dimensions as Comerica and all that, and like I feel like Lakeland's kind of a graveyard. I think West Michigan's field is for sure bigger, but no, a lot of the parks we played in the Florida State League, were big yards, and I like having a big area out in center field. I feel like I can do a little bit more and run around and just that's the best of me, getting to run around and make plays. So I'm excited to play out in West Michigan.
Yeah, you guys come home the series this week to take on Great Lakes. So that was a ballpark that you guys just were recently at. That's a their
Yes, sir.
dimensions. Yeah, they're pretty cool too. And so last question for you: what do you do outside of baseball to kind of just get away from it? Outside, I saw that you're a ping pong player, but I'm sure there's more to it, right?
Yeah, I'm from Texas, so I like to fish. I like to fish a lot. Like I always told my mom, if I wasn't going to be a professional baseball player, I want to be a professional bass fisherman. So I mean, me and my friends back home, like growing up, we are pond hopping every pond you could think of, going in just literally anywhere and everywhere. Um, I like to. I have an adopted brother too, so we'll hang out. He was a football player, so any type of sports really related going. And then now I got a girlfriend, so that's my going on 2 years with her, but this is also my first girlfriend ever, so I'm learning how to kind of do what girls like to do, I guess, go shop and stuff. But no, I mean, just hanging out. Pro ball's been the best. It's been a blast,
Yeah,
find a bunch of guys that are on the same path as you and just like to kick it and hang out. And I'm big, like, I play Xbox a lot. I play video games a lot. Big video game player. So we're always like running Madden and NBA and everything. So it's well, we're always trying to find something else to do besides baseball when we get off the field. We don't really like thinking about baseball once we're done. Once we leave the park.
and what's nice about West Michigan, if you get a chance to go to South Haven along
Yeah.
the Black River, there's some really good
Okay.
fishing out that way.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. I've heard that, and it's beautiful out here. Like I'm sitting on my balcony talking to you right now, and it's just I can't explain the difference from Lakeland. It's so nice.
yeah, and the Saugatuck area too, right over there by I believe it's called Willow Park,
Okay.
and Kalamazoo River, same thing. There's some really good fishing out there, and if you get the
Yeah,
time to check it out, I highly recommend it.
for sure. Yeah, no doubt. I definitely check that out.
All right, so for everybody out there for everybody who thank you for following us on our YouTube channel. Steph Stevenson will be home this series, so if you're out in West Michigan, go check out the Whitecaps as they're tied for first place just to try to hit a playoff spot. Seth, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it as well.
Awesome. Let me end this.